Hey, what's up guys? It's Neonate. First off, thank you for everyone who entered the contest and shared your favorite rule with me. I've posted a summary of what everyone said on my community page, and if you entered the contest and your name is Diana, please get in touch with me. Email me at neonategaming@gmail.com. I've been trying to get in touch with you. If I don't hear from you by March 31st, it seems fair that I'll randomly pick another winner. For today's video, one of my viewers asked if I could watch him play and give him some pointers, so please meet our hero, Crack Dealer, playing in the third position with the gray pieces. Crack Dealer calls himself a rookie Catan player and said to me, "I have decent placement, but I must be doing something wrong throughout the game because I've played 20 to 30 games, but I've only won 3. So I agree, he could probably do better than that. So let's take a look. Our hero is playing the wool for ore scenario on Catan Universe. In this scenario, the ores are all on low producing tiles, here the 2, 11, and 12, and there are also 2 sheep ports and no ore port. I think low ore boards are super interesting because players can't rely on the brute force of a 5 or 6 ore tile. Our hero takes the 4-5-5. This looks like a decent spot worth 11 points. He points his road towards the coast, which I agree with. Here's how I would have approached this pick. As you know, in the third position, I usually counsel taking the rarest resource. On this board, ore is rare, but it has such low production that it's probably not worth going for. When ore is low, ports become way more important as a way to convert extra resources to ore, and it doesn't look like red or blue took that into account. The wheat and the sheep ports look attractive to me. Third consideration, on this board I see 2 places to get wood and brick together. If you can place on one of these spots as your second settlement, you can get a free road. The last thing I want to think about is where the 4th player is going to place, and to make sure that there's going to be a good spot left for me. With these considerations in mind, I would think about taking the 4-8-10, which is worth 11 points. The 4th player would probably take the 3-5-5, and the 3-8-9, leaving me with the 3-9-10 worth 9 points with a free road to go to the sheep port. I think this is a fairly safe play, and it's going to give me a pretty reasonable game. However, I think I'm kind of looking jealously at that 3-5-5 to the wheat port. That just seems super strong to me. If I took that spot, the 4th player is likely to take the 4-8-10 and the 3-9-10. I don't really see the 4th player taking both the 4-8-10 and the 3-9-8, which would totally screw me. And I also don't see any player taking the wheat port. So I would take the 3-5-5 and I would point towards the wheat port. Our hero takes the 8-9-12, worth 10 points. I agree with this. It's really the only reasonable spot to take. He points his road towards the middle of the island. I disagree with this. With 2 players acting behind you and green with a free road in his hand, there's a very good chance that the road will be wasted. So now that everyone has placed their settlements, let's assess the players. Blue has 18 points, which is relatively low. He has all resources though, of course low ore. He has a decent balance of wood and brick, and too much sheep. He should go for longest road, and he should get to the wood port or the 3-1 port and upgrade to cities. Red has 17 points, which is also low. He has no brick and the best quote-unquote ore. He has the sheep port, which can help him make brick or ore. He should probably go for largest army, and he should try to get to the 5-11 for brick and then upgrade. Green has 19 points, no ore, a ton of sheep, and unfortunately red took her sheep port. She might be able to get to the 4-10-12, but she really needs to get to a port. Gray, our hero, has 21 points, low ore, the best wood brick on the board, and too much sheep. He should go for longest road. He should try to get to the 2-9-10 or the 4-10-12, and then the 3-1 port, and then upgrade to cities. Our hero buys a development card. I disagree with this. When you're racing for spots, you're really racing to see who can collect 2 woods, 2 bricks, a wheat, and a sheep. It really just doesn't make sense to spend the wheat and the sheep. It's going to slow you down immensely. I would have built a road here. Gray puts the robber on the 10 brick and steals from green. I agree. You want to steal and block the leader, and you want to block resources that you produce. Gray builds 2 roads to cut off red. I strongly disagree with this. I understand the motivation perhaps that he wants to get next to that 11 ore, but it's only slightly better than the 2 ore. And you really need to take the bird in the hand and build at the 2, 9, 10 here. You lose too much time going for the 5, 11. Gray rolls a 9. He can't do anything, so he passes. Gray rolls an 11. Can't do much, and he passes. Gray rolls a 9. He still can't do much. He wants to trade 2 cards for a brick, which doesn't make sense to me. There's really no urgency to get a brick when you don't have wood. Gray is looking for wood and brick. He can't get them, and he passes. Gray rolls an 8. He's really nervous now with 8 cards, and he trades the wheats in for wood. I really disagree with this. I would hold the 8 cards and pass. There's a 48% chance, or roughly 50-50, that a 7 won't roll in the next 4 rolls. And if a 7 does roll, so what? You lose 2 wheats and 2 sheep. No big deal. You really want a 5 to roll to give you a settlement, and now he's going to need to roll a 5 and an 8. Gray needs a wheat here, but for some reason he doesn't accept the trade from green. I would have taken that trade. Finally, Gray builds on the 5-11. Gray rolls a 3, can't do much, and he passes. Gray builds 2 roads to go to the 3-1 port. I strongly disagree with this one. He should have built a settlement on the 3-5, and there's 3 reasons for that. Number 1, you always have to take the bird in the hand over 2 in the bush. Number 2, the 3-5 has better production, 6 points versus 5. And the third consideration for building at the 3-5 is it puts you in contention for taking longest road. And remember, that's what you need to do in order to win here. Our hero trades 4 sheep for an ore. Well, the 3-1 port would have been pretty useful at this point, but I'm okay with this move. Gray's so far behind, he really needs to build a city here. Gray buys a development card? I strongly disagree. To me, this shows that Gray doesn't really have a plan. He needs to get to a port. He needs to compete for longest road. He needs to save for a city because he's so far behind. Gray saw that ores had rolled a bunch and he plays his Monopoly. I agree with this. And Gray buys 2 cities. I agree with this. Our hero uses his robber to steal from green. He gets lucky and he pulls a wheat and he builds on the 3-5. I think you also have to give some consideration to blue being a threat here. I also would have asked for a trade first. Gray drops 4 bricks. Gray builds a road? I strongly disagree. I have no idea what Gray is doing here. I would have tried trading for a wheat and build a settlement, or build to reach 5 roads. I'm guessing that Gray has given up at this point, but he may not realize how close he is to winning. If he hadn't built those 2 roads, he'd be at 7 roads, and he'd have longest road. Of course, Blue quickly builds a road, and that's really a nail in the coffin for Gray. Gray buys a development card. I disagree with this. This is really a Hail Mary, and with both monopolies already played, there's really nothing to even pray for. I would have saved for a settlement. He steals from green. I disagree here. Blue and red are probably ahead at this point. He passes here. I would have asked for a wheat to potentially trade 3 for 1 for a brick here. And that's the game. Overall, I thought Gray's initial placements were decent. To my eyes, he actually looked favored to win the game. I think Gray made a few tactical mistakes. The most common theme was perhaps a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. I think the more fundamental mistake I saw was a lack of a strategy. Gray really needed to see that his comparative advantage was to go for longest road. He needed to increase his production by grabbing available spots as quickly as possible, getting to a port, increasing his production some more, and taking longest road in the end game. Any side trips besides those objectives, like cutting people off or building on the other side of the island, those are wasted resources and time, which can and will cost you the game. I'd like to thank Crack Dealer for letting me analyze this game. I hope it's been useful. If you'd like me to take a look at one of your games, please let me know. Thanks for watching.